presenter today, Dan James. Dan,
all right.
you have the floor.
Thank you. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How we doing? Can you hear me in the back? Everybody good? Fantastic. So, my name is Dan James. My company is called Dan James, me, Leadership and Personal Development Solutions. And one of the things I do is I offer solutions to companies, to individuals, to help them grow, to help them move forward, to help them grow as a leader, because I believe everyone is a leader. It's whether or not you're going to be a good leader or a bad leader. Don't want to talk too much on bad leaders, but I think we've all in this room have had bad leadership and bad people over us. And you know what? We can do better. And so that's kind of what I do. So, oh, hey, nice picture of me. That's me. I'm wearing the same shirt. All right. So, as I'm talking, I wanted to throw out my main ask for you to start off with. And my main ask is I'm here to get advice to connect with larger businesses and business owners and training and those who train employees of companies of larger than 50 or more employees. And I'm going to share why that is in a second. I work with all levels of companies, from small to large, and individuals. And I also work with students in schools. So, but today I'm really focusing on trying to get in front of large companies, big businesses that can help my company grow and have sustainability. So I wanted to give a little bit of background. Up there in the top corner, that beautiful redhead is my wife, Becky. We have been married for over 33 years. We were high school sweethearts. Thank you. It is hard work. I tell everyone the hardest thing you'll do in your life is your marriage, but it is the most rewarding thing you'll do in your life. Because a lot of times it produces these things, and those down there are my children. Now, four of the children, four of them, four on this side, those are my biological children, and then my daughter-in-law is there in the end. And I love showing off my children, and here's the reason why, is because we've had a lot of struggles through our life. We've had a lot of ups and downs, declaring bankruptcy, being homeless for 3 years. And I look at my kids, and my son, my oldest one there, the black shirt on, you know, he's an E6 in the military. You know, I look at my son next to him. He's a CNC operator, and he's in the process of getting his pilot's license. The one next to him is a manager at a warehouse, and also he's a welder as well. His wife is a pharmaceutical assistant, and my daughter, my baby, she's a horse wrangler. Who would have thought that? And for really the last 5 years, she's been training to wrangle horses and have that business. You see me there in the middle. I kind of started off my leadership journey as I was in the service myself. I was in the Army. That is me in Saudi Arabia during Desert Storm, as I was just chilling, relaxing. And I have actually another picture of over my shoulder where you see nothing but desert. So I'm looking at absolutely nothing but sand. And then I kind of continued to learn and grow as I grew as a leader. I went into full-time ministry and started in a small church, grew from about 2 volunteers to 25 volunteers in less than a year. And I will tell you, if you've never been a leader over volunteers, that is one of the most challenging things. You will learn so much about yourself when you lead volunteers. Then I went to the Walt Disney Company for a few years, went into their Emerging Leader program, became a manager there, did that for 8 years, had a wonderful time. I ran a farm. I've done some work as a roofer, as a thing. So no matter where you are, what business you do, you are going to be a leader, and you can be a leader. And I've learned all of this, and it gives me a couple things. You are created for a purpose. I truly believe that. Everyone in this room has a purpose, okay? And you are also created to make an impact in others' lives. And then the last thing is, leadership is a skill, and it can be taught. So those are kind of my guiding principles and what I do. And that last picture is me teaching in South America. I'm in Guayaquil, Ecuador, teaching to a room of about 500 leaders and business owners. So what do I do is I help a diverse range of clients, but today I'm focusing on large companies. I want to put that out. I do want to make that. But I'm looking for large companies who are struggling with communication breakdowns, team management issues, that leadership development void, and lack of growth. And I provide them solutions. What is the benefit to the business that I work with? It reduces conflict and removes pain points by improving their communication, creating a culture of growth, and developing leaders within the organization. And I want to give a quick example of this. Is I worked with a company just recently, and they had 5 leaders in their admin team. None of their leaders was what in the DISC world, and you'll hear more about DISC in a second, in the DISC world is a D individual, a decision maker, someone who really can just take the information, look at it quickly, and make a quick decision. So they didn't have anyone in their team that did that. So they struggle with making decisions quickly. So I worked with them. They are all individuals who like to plan things out. They're C and S individuals. They like to plan things out. They like to put together different programs and stuff like that. So I said, listen, plan a way out for you guys to make quick decisions. They did that. She called me about a month later and said, Dan, you're not going to believe this. We had a situation come up. We had to make a quick decision. And because the plan we put in place that you told us about, we were able to make the decision in one, and actually she said a day and a half. She said this decision would have taken us about 2 weeks normally, and we were able to make it in a day and a half. So that's kind of what the benefit is for businesses. Here are the tools in my toolbox that I use. So I use the Maxwell DISC assessment, which is an amazing behavior analysis assessment, teach you about your communication style, your leadership style, and also your motivations. I use workshops, masterminds. I do executive coaching, team coaching, and life coaching. This is what keeps me up at night. You guys ready for this? My business to grow and to have sustainability, I need to have larger accounts with larger companies. This will allow me more than just one-time opportunities, but monthly or quarterly or even yearly accounts that will continue to grow or to continue to sustain me long term. Here's some of the things I've been doing already is I've been visiting lots of networking groups. I recently joined the South Lake Chamber, which I'm excited about, and the opportunities there. I've been to a lot of the small business expos all over Central Florida. I do a lot of cold calling, emails. I've even gone to businesses and knocked on the door to try to talk to people, which doesn't go very well. I offer free lunch and learns and opportunities as well as DISC assessments for leaders. And then I also do social media advertising, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. So, what am I looking for today? I need to have help to position myself to get in front of the decision makers, those owners, HR directors of large companies. What type of events should I be going to? Should I be going to trade shows? Should I continue to do different, more social events to meet decision makers of large companies? And if I were to host my own events, which I am doing podcasting and I am doing these things, if I should, what type of event should I do to reach large companies and decision makers? So that is it.
Dan James, everyone. Whoa. Dan, this is a tough one because you are pretty much doing everything. I did not come up with any suggestions at all.
Well,
so hopefully they did.
yes. That's what we're hoping.
Put your
So
ass
this
back
is
up
your
there.
turn as an audience to ask, to offer suggestions. Let's keep it concise and short, and let's stay away from promoting ourselves.
Okay, so my advice is to support other local entities. So come to South Lake High School in front of all the parents and get those parents that are business owners or business connections to want to talk to you. And then churches as well, do a seminar at a church.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people at churches are in big companies.
Hey Dan,
Hey.
Colin Van Exel, Accelerating Sales Solutions. Dan and I have had multiple conversations about many things, and this is one of them. And it was hitting me because I just focused on when timing's everything sometimes last week. One of the things I had recommended to you was, for those who don't know, I spent like 25 years in corporate organizations, some pretty large. And there are groups, when something goes resource officer who gets handed the task of helping two executives get along and things of that nature. But they actually have organizations where they meet. And I think that's probably a target-rich environment for you to start laying groundwork with those individuals. Because at the time, when you meet them, they may not have a problem, but you want to be the first name in their mind when you'd be surprised how much crap goes down in the large organization. So when that happens, so that's what I would recommend.
Thanks, Colin.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
You're going through something that I go through every day in my business. You offer a lot of solutions to a lot of different people. And with that, it's very easy for your message to become muddled. One of the things I've learned that's helped me significantly is you can't be all things to all people. Narrow down your message. Create one value-based statement about how you help businesses with X. You're not eliminating the other things, but you need one thing to draw the attention of your target audience, help them solve that, earn their trust, then have the opportunity to talk about the other things that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Hi, Marcia Carter with Carter Connections. Did you ever think of getting involved with SHRM, the HR organization? Maybe being a keynote speaker at one of their things, but getting involved with them because they have a lot of the decision makers there. And the second thing is, when you're looking to get in front of these large companies, maybe looking to partner yourself with a larger consultancy firm that gets a contract that is too big for them to do by themselves, and then they subcontract.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Dan.
Hey.
It's nice to be on this side instead of that side like last year. Two things. First of all, you have an asset and a liability. Your liability is the name of the company right now. However, it will be an asset when people say, I need Dan James.
Right.
The other thing that you're running into where you're looking for companies of 50 or more, which is the same thing I always look for. So if everybody can help me out here, how many people in the room have a company that has 50 or more employees in it? One. How many have 25 or more employees? One. So I think with our Chamber of Commerce, that's going to be your best place to start because you can see by the number of people in the room who has 50 or more employees. So I think that's your biggest battle.
Okay.
Nathan, I would really recommend going to the SBDC, getting a list of all of those in your areas that you want to service with more than 50 employees.
Okay.
Literally making a list, figure out how to approach them one by one, and then mark them off or continue going after it because you're probably wasting a lot of time with people that cannot help you.
Yes. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. My name is Doris, and I actually do the same exact type of work that you do. And I do have a couple of clients with 50 plus employees. And my advice to you would be very similar to what this gentleman said. The larger companies buy into a framework. They want something that is packaged, that is memorable. So start thinking about what's your secret sauce, how can you package that and create it into a framework, and then it's easier for you to market it to them, but it's also, it creates value in their mind, and they think about this repeatable process that they can now duplicate or multiply in their business. And so it's not just being coached by Dan, but it's learning Dan's framework that will improve the entire business, and it feels repeatable. And so that's what has worked for me. And then the other thing I would offer to you, which is not a requirement, but it has got me in the door, is ICF accreditation. So being associated with a larger coaching platform that provides ethics and accountability gives you a lot more credibility in the corporate space. And so when I let them know that I am an ICF accredited coach, they look a little bit differently because it's like, okay, there's some governance there, there's ethics there, there's someone that, yes, I'm my own boss, but there's this governing agency that I have attached myself to, that I've committed to following a certain set of ethics in how I do business. And it definitely helps.
Good morning, Dan. Jared Taylor with Sugarloaf Partners, fundraising consultants. I downloaded this about a week ago. The IRS has a master file list for each of the states. There are 107,000 registered nonprofits here in the state of Florida, and there's 800 here in Lake County. You can sort by the revenue, the assets, the gifts that they've had. So there's a lot of nonprofits on paper that probably aren't your target client list, but there's 107,000. I'm sure you can find somebody to help, and you ran a nonprofit, if I remember correctly. So I think speak to that that language.
Thank you, Jared.
Hey Dan, I was just curious to know, when you were doing your marketing bullet up there, do you spend time on a specific networking platform?
I'm sorry?
What networking platform do you spend your most time on specifically?
Probably the one I spend most time on has been Facebook. I'm not a great LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I put posts on LinkedIn, but I'm not like really into LinkedIn. So I know that's where a lot of the executives are. I've been trying to learn more and more about LinkedIn as I've been going.
So one suggestion,
No.
a quick follow-up would be potentially maybe if your target audience is on LinkedIn, maybe publish some free artifacts that you can share, short and sweet. More impactful would be maybe potentially share some of the videos you do at your events.
Yep.
And then you may be able, if you have some spend, to target some certain audience through spending and advertisements, if you want to take that far, but maybe that might be an option.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey Dan, so a couple things. I'm gonna recommend, in the 1 Million Cups way, come present at our usage chapter, because I'm from the usage chapter. But have you read the book called Traction?
No.
I would highly recommend reading it because it's very, very similar, but it's a structured system that tells businesses how to structure their business. And I've got a couple of friends of mine in Michigan that do this. And I think, kind of going to your point, I don't know that you want to go to 50 plus. This is a system in place that has quarterly meetings. You put it in place. You follow up to make sure that these are done. And it can be done with as little as like 2 or 3 employees. Just might be a way to put an accreditation behind your name. I can put you in contact with the people that I know up there and how they're making it work. But this sounds very similar to what you're doing. And I think start small and just mix it in there, because when people start seeing the results, then they're going to start recommending it.
Right.
Hey Dan, Delia here. I'm sure we all follow a lot of leadership stuff on social media. We have our go-to people. There's 2 things that I know for a fact help a lot of people that have leadership brands or a voice, which is, I believe, what you want to do. Is you have a voice and you want to be able to share it with the people that you want to connect with and help them develop their own voice. Number 1 is having that, that channel to be able to constantly be pouring out into social media. And number 2 is having that channel be a constant thing. By you doing all the active things that you're doing, you don't have a lot of time to be doing the social media stuff.
Right.
So one thing that you can do with the podcast that you mentioned is grab a long form podcast like that. Make sure that before you record the podcast, you have specific beats that you want to hit that you know are going to relate to a lot of people that you want to talk to. Grab that and drop it into a platform called Opus Clip.
Right.
Opus Clip is going to be able to cut it into a bunch of different 30, 40 clips. And in Opus Clip, you can actually have it post automatically into Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And it's all AI based. It'll save you a ton of time, and it'll not just put you out there consistently, but it'll build that framework for when people actually hear about you, they can look you up and you'll be there.
So that was a lot of fantastic information, and I do want to point out, as our presenters come up here and they do their presentations and this valuable feedback is given, Glenn is capturing all of this, obviously recording it, but he then goes back and runs it through AI and gives a synopsis of all of the feedback, your presentation, all of the feedback. So when you do present, that's just another way that this program supports making sure that you get the information that you need. So he didn't have to scramble and grab a pen to write down, I already forget Opus 1, something like that. Oh, that's wine, never mind. But yes, so that is definitely a key thing that Glenn, our IT guru back there, does, and that kind of feedback that you get. Not only does this whole situation make you really look at and evaluate your business, it also gives you kind of some key talking points that are here after your presentation that might give you some more of those aha moments. So just another encouragement to get up here and present like Dan's doing today.
So I have one more thought. Credit unions. Credit unions have members. I belong to Community America Credit Union in Kansas City, Co-Chiefs, and my money is in Kansas City. but I bank with McCoy in person for free. And all the 7-Elevens have free ATMs. That's a huge market. The members of those communities want to hear this kind of stuff. There's a ton of credit unions, Addition Financial, Fairwind, McCoy, that you can go to. I think Addition used to be for teachers. And they have husbands and wives and other family members. So I would highly recommend you approach them and offer a free seminar.
That's
Tina.
Thank you.
Hey Dan, good morning. Daniel, right? When I was the regional food and beverage director, I used to work primarily in senior living for the last 12 years. And I had the privilege of going to different communities, specifically CCRC style communities, which is a continuing care community starting from independent and going to memory care. And a lot of the disconnect came within groups because there's so many different departments where the wellness team is focused on wellness, chefs are focused on chefs, life enrichment is focused on life enrichment, how to take care of the residents in different ways. So I had the privilege of being part of a lot of coaches that came in, and that helped so much, not only for my personal growth, but to watch the teams there. When I entered the space, I helped prepare broken teams, and that helped me kind of springboard, my leadership skills and develop that. So if you wanted to kind of target that, I know that CCRCs have bigger teams, so it might help you in your search for your goal.
Yeah, I know. On that, I've reached out to all the hospitals. I've been trying to reach out to all the hospitals, all of the nursing home facilities. I have either gone in person or I've sent an email or something to their director. And that's the thing. I've come to the conclusion, I think that emails don't work at all. Nobody reads emails. So I have been going in person, but I'm more or less, I'm trying to find where do those people go. I love the idea with the credit union idea and things like that, is where do they go to where I can actually talk to them face to face, those decision makers. But yes, I love that. I mean, that's what I want to do. Sorry.
Dan, nice job today. My name is Dr. Tia Julie Phillips, and I'm with Earth Angel Project. You don't know anything about that yet. I'm really big in the Web3 space, Web3 and technology, moving forward with what's next, what's the next wave. And this is what these people put out is pure gold, especially the idea of putting out your unique marketing position. What's unique about you? Because a lot of people come up and they're this. So what's unique and gold about you? As you merge what's coming down the pike in the future versus where you are now, the first thing that came to my mind was why 50 people? And if you're going to go for 50, and I kind of get it, but if you're going to go for 50, understand that the nature of business nowadays is spread out over large areas. So we must think in terms of technology and reaching out. This individual here, that was gold. If this, then that, Zapier. You do things one time, you can do Substack and have that feed into different things. You can feed that technology and blanket all of your social media just like that. So that's that. I would encourage you to look into what's called a DAO, D-A-O. Okay. It stands for Distributed Autonomous Organization, and kind of use what I call the lingerie approach, which is tease them with the idea that they need to know about DAOs, but don't tell them anything about it. A DAO basically is a way that an organization can function. You give them the sidelines, you give them the boundaries, and they can function within it. It makes them more scalable, more efficient. And if you become an expert in something like that, or that itself, then you're going to become very attractive. They're going to want you to come and teach them about something they don't know about already. So, thank you.
Hey, good morning. My name is Rick. I work with Venture Employer Solutions. One of the things that I do, I spend a lot of time prospecting the businesses that I'm targeting before I even make that phone call. There's so many resources. You mentioned that you're not big on LinkedIn. There's a lot of other resources out there like ZoomInfo, Sunbiz, things like that. You can find a ton of information on those companies that you want to look at and target, decision makers, names, email addresses, company size, all of that, before you even pick up the phone to make that call. I'd encourage you, if you're not doing that, I know you mentioned that you're not big on LinkedIn, but there's a lot of other resources and avenues out there to find that information on those companies that you want to go out and approach before you even walk into a trade show and spend the money on setting up a booth and backgrounds and backdrops and marketing materials to be able to, effectively target those companies that you're looking for.
Yeah, that's great. I'm really, you guys have got me thinking on that part of it, because that is something I have not been doing. I've not been doing that pre-research, which means I've been kind of shooting in the dark. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So your emails likely aren't working because if an organization's IT infrastructure is set up properly, your email shouldn't really go to them. It should go straight to spam and they will never see it, and it should never be seen. So that's why your email's probably not working. Second, to Jim's comment towards the traction model, we spent $30,000 on that last year. Building it into our organization, absolutely fantastic. Every penny was worth it. I don't know if that's a route. We are a 4-person company. You don't necessarily need the 50 plus. It just matters what your niche is, which I think is what the majority of people are saying here. You don't have a niche, therefore you don't have a purpose.
Hey Dan,
Yeah.
I'd encourage you to open up your mind a little bit on LinkedIn for the simple reason of doing local research for businesses. So LinkedIn Navigator is about $100 a month ballpark, but you can get it for 2 months for about the same price. In those 2 months, you could pull a list of probably about, I'd go for no more than 100 companies, segment the companies with the number of employees, and then start over time. Now you have a funnel, or excuse me, a prospecting list that you can call, potential email, follow on social media, comment on their posts, become known. And now as your description on LinkedIn says, Dan James, leadership empowerer, or whatever the term is. So it goes beyond just your name. People see what you do, and now you're becoming present in those organizations on their social media on LinkedIn. So even though you don't use it, I encourage you, businesses do, find a smaller list that you can manage and start working that, along with some of these other ideas that will give you something to do on a daily basis.
Over here. I mean, it's very interesting what you are showing. You know, it's important to really focus on what you are trying to accomplish and what is the sweet spot of the companies that you are looking for. If you mentioned hospitals, for example, most of the hospitals will have their training department, so that's not the right target for you. As people mentioned, 50 plus people, businesses, they might or might not be. So it's important to understand what is that specific target. I mean, you mentioned that you were working with the lead team. So that probably is your sweet spot. It's businesses that are growing, that are trying to develop their lead team, you know, and there you can help them to, you know, come up with what are the abilities or the skills that lead team needs. One recommendation that I would say, I see a lot of fractional CFO or fractional CMOs that target those same businesses. You know, that businesses that are growing and are bringing people, they don't have the training department, they owners do not have the skills, and they need people to train their personnel or the lead team. So that's where I would try to go.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Dan, I'm going around too. So one of the things that I always say is, once you get past the gatekeeper and you get there, what separates you from your competition? And I'm just asking that as a rhetorical question, because when you get in there, they're going to have to say, why do I have to work with you? So maybe a thought is, you work with an SBDC, you work with a UCF incubator if that's an option, where then you can go back and go, look at the results that I've done for other customers that I've worked with. And one of the suggestions we make, and we hear a lot in our usage chapter, is maybe you give a service away working with a company, so now you have an example that you've set to show that you can do it, or do it on a really graduated scale, because again, there's any number of business coaches and any number of programs and large companies. You've got to set yourself apart from those of why they want to work with you for another company.
Hey Dan.
Hey Zay.
So, kind of like on your last question there, you were asking if you would do some kind of event. So, your customers, would you say that they're going to be more regional to Florida, or are you open to working out of state?
Everywhere.
Okay, so if you're going to do something like that, I would recommend doing like a regular webinar, maybe once a quarter, do something free, and just find like unique problem points that these guys are going to align with, so that way you can invite them in, and then they know it's consistent. Change it up, don't always do the same thing.
Right.
But have that be an opportunity where you can kind of prove yourself in that. You're giving them something that it's kind of like, hey, kind of invites them in the door as opposed to you constantly chasing. But it'll also give them an opportunity to engage with you in that presentation to where, you know, now it's, you can be talking to all these people in the same room more or less, and it's a lot easier to sell once you've kind of broken the ice with them. But that's something you can do all over. Other people can share it. You can work with other organizations to have them try to share it, you know, to, you know, get people on that webinar. But it's free, so.
Yeah.
Awesome. Omar.
Very quickly, Dan.
Yeah.
Since 1988, I have done trade shows. You, like I said earlier, who you are and what you do. You have done ministry. Your asset is you. Your asset is you in front of a room. Doing the right trade show puts you in front of people that want to do business with you. Probably a good trade show is the Realtors Association. Every real estate office has realtors that need leadership training.
Yep.
I think trade shows are a shoo-in, and it's you in front of people face to face. They can't get that through emails, through text, through LinkedIn, or any other crap that's out there. It's all great. It's all excellent. However, you are the asset. If you're in front of that person, you are going to get that lead in that sale.
Yeah. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, we've got time for one more probably. Omar, you're up.
Yeah, my name's Omar with Launch AI. This is actually just it's a pitch, but not for me. There's another company that I found. I don't know if other folks have found this, but it's a really useful tool. It's called SignalHire.com, and it's a recruiter's tool. I mean, it wasn't important to me, but I was doing some searching, found this group. You can find almost every company and get a breakdown of who's there, and they have contact information for everybody. So you could actually sort people around the country based on your parameters and find HR people, C-suite people, all this kind of stuff. And a lot of cases, direct contact information. So it might be helpful to you.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. All right, that was some excellent feedback, everybody.
Good.
That was wonderful.
Thank you.
So I'm going to put Dan's contact information back up here. Trimthewick.com. That's an interesting one. I like that. Trim the wick. So make sure you get this information, grab his QR code. If there's additional feedback that you have for him, I'm sure he will openly accept that over the next few days. And thank you all for all of those suggestions. That was fantastic.
I wanted to say a couple things to Dan, but I don't have a mic.
Because you need one? Oh.
Dan, a couple things I want to say. Tell a story. And these are personal things. Be bold. Someone said special sauce. Use humor as much as you can. I listened to Dan speak on DISC, D-I-S, and I wanted to play. No, I did but that was very impactful.
Yeah.
So yeah, share that. Be unique and talk about something in the present. That was connect people. Yeah. Oh, what is the question you want to ask me?
Here it is. Here's the drum roll question, not that one.
Oh.
Final question for you. You've gotten a lot of great feedback today, but as we carry forward, what is something that we as a community can do for you?
And thank you again. I'm going to definitely be listening to this over and over again to get all the information. I appreciate that. I guess the thing is that if you have some open doors or things like that that you would love to share with me, if there are some things that you hear of where they're looking for a speaker to do an event for anything, to where I can get up and actually share what I do, like you were saying, actually be myself and be able to just pour out who I am and share what I do as an impact to someone. I would love to do your events. And like I said, from I work with students all the way up to companies, so anything like that.
Excellent. Thank you.